All right, hey guys, what's up? Dr. G from shrinksandsneakers.com. This is the first video we're going to try to do as a group, and I have my colleague and partner on this project, Dr. M, here to talk a little COVID anxiety.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Obviously, Garrett and I are not located in the same space, but we're trying to stay connected. This is one of the ways, and I know I mentioned I wrote recently about trying to stay connected in these times, and FaceTime and Hangouts and all that stuff is one of the ways. I don't know, Garrett, if you've been doing much of that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I like in the piece you wrote. We'll link it up in the description. That one of the good ways to use your time right now is to contact maybe family you haven't talked to in a while, friends you haven't reached out to, and now that we have Zoom and we have FaceTime and all these different options to reach out to people, it really isn't that much different than being in person. So it's a really good thing to spend some time doing.
Yeah, it offers some time for reflection too. Like, I recently FaceTimed with friends from San Diego, and I don't really ever do that. And I'm kind of glad I did it, and it made me think, like, oh, this is kind of allowing connections that I didn't have previously or wasn't making previously. We've had now two group chats with friends of mine from college, about seven of us, and then friends of mine from med school too. Actually, just did a workout over Zoom with one of my friends from med school, and I guess we could have done that before. I mean, but it's cool that we're doing it now. So it brings up basically an attitude of gratitude. I didn't really mention that, but trying to take opportunities of things we're thankful for, like the opportunity that we can do that, and we have the technology to remain connected. Um, and some other people might not have right now. So being grateful is a good way to enhance your mental health.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and I think you kind of mentioned another excellent point in this, and that is, exercise and the role that that can play. So I know you talked about it in, the article, but thoughts on, how to use exercise during this period when everybody's really stressed and really anxious.
Yeah, um, I think that the exercise piece is important, and I've been doing an okay job with that. But one part where I know I need to really improve is structure. I've had a really difficult time structuring days that I'm working from home, structuring days having a child home, with my husband working from home as well. So I don't know if you've had any better luck with setting up a structure for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, obviously for me it's a little bit easier because I don't have any children. It's just myself and my wife at home, so it's a little bit easier for me to follow a routine. And yeah, I mean, every day I tend to wake up, especially in the days I'm not working or I'm working from home. I'll start with some fasted cardio just in the morning because I really feel like that helps get my brain flowing, gets the blood flow to the brain, and really helps me to kind of like start the day on the right foot. So that's one aspect, and then usually later in the day I'll do the weight training or resistance training. So I'll usually
Mm-hmm.
then go do whatever work I have to do, whatever projects I'm working on. When I complete those projects, I'll head back to the gym. And I guess one of the things I'll say I'm fortunate enough to have is the equipment in my home. It was a big part of what I wanted to do was set up a home gym because I just felt like I would definitely use the equipment and I would not have the stress and pressure of getting to the gym. So it's been another helpful aspect.
Yeah, I ended up downloading an app to help me with some of that structure. I like it. It's called Asana Rebel or Asana Rebel.
Mm-hmm.
And I start off now my mornings with a 5 minute meditation and a 5 minute yoga practice. So it's really not asking too much, can kind of set you up for your day. And it also reminds you, like, drink a glass of water, incorporate fruits and vegetables. So if you were thinking of not doing what you should be doing, kind of reminds you to do the right thing. And then I've been trying to capitalize when my daughter is down for a nap and do my main workout at that point. It doesn't always work out, so I do what I can throughout the day. And if that means chasing her around as my workout, sometimes that happens. Um, the other piece is definitely diet. That's been a
Mm-hmm.
struggle for sure. The refrigerator calls. So I've been stocking up on way tons of fruit because I am a snacker and I need to have something to reach for. And that's the only way that I'm going to stay away from all the other crap. But I have to say, it has been a struggle because we've had some ice cream in, we've had some candy in for bribing my kid, and I am certainly getting into that as well. So, trying to be kind to myself and not judge myself too harshly and try to make mostly good choices, but certainly my ice cream consumption is up.
Right. I mean, I think that's like the next really kind of high point. Another thing people could be focusing on, while you're practicing social distancing, while, if you're not working in your home, it's a great opportunity to sort of get that diet online, figure out what diet works for you. We talk about this all the time, like amongst ourselves, that there's really not a perfect diet for everyone, so it's hard to prescribe something that's going to work for every single person. But again, finding the dietary habits that work for you, and of course the simple things like staying away from the sugars and the processed foods, as well as incorporating more fruits and vegetables. Those things, like, I feel like anyone can do. And what better time than now to really put that sort of preventative medicine lifestyle modification at the forefront of what you're doing. So I really think, like, honestly, with this whole COVID-19 thing, that there are some benefits. There is a silver lining here for some people.
Yeah, and I tend to, when I talk to patients, it's a lot easier to ask them to add in versus subtract.
Right.
So that's kind of where I get in with the fruits and vegetables. So, like, okay, I'm going to have that half a bagel for breakfast. Well, I'm going to cut up a tomato and put it on top, or I'm going to cut
Mm-hmm.
up avocado and put it on top, and get something nutritious in there with it that can helpfully downplay the eating of the other stuff. And it's, you notice it in your mood and how you feel. It keeps you honest.
Great. I mean, I think, like, one of the coolest areas that we have in mental health and psychiatry moving forward is this idea that, diet plays a role in how you feel, how your mood is for that day, whether or not you're anxious, whether or not you're feeling more depressed or down. So I really think that that's like an area of sort of budding research. It may not be as sexy as like pharmaceutical drugs and maybe some of these fancier now like psychedelic drugs that are coming out that people are talking about, but it's still extremely important. And if anything, it's the foundation for
Sure,
good health.
sure. I know being in the field we're in, I've definitely had friends and family members reach out to me about how concerned they are. And that's been kind of tough to feel because I'm nervous too. I have my own anxieties about things, and I'm trying to stay calm myself, stay calm for my family, and then also address it with patience. So, um, I don't know if more people have been reaching out to you. What kind of advice or suggestions you're giving them when you talk to them?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the anxiety component of it goes, I think everybody's feeling it. I mean, this because we've talked to a lot of other, practitioners and even people within the mental health field who are basically saying, like, yeah, they're scared, they have fear, they have anxiety surrounding the situation. So one of the things I think you already kind of mentioned and touched on briefly, which was this idea of like small periods where you're incorporating mindfulness or meditation, whether that be in the
Yeah.
morning or the afternoon or wherever fits into your day. But yeah, for sure, I think that's one of the best things. And there's also, an idea that comes from mindfulness that's like sort of acknowledging the anxiety, right? The sort of noting when, oh, I'm feeling anxious, and just sort of putting a label on it and bringing your attention to it has that ability to kind of relax you a little bit. So that's a really good, I think, technique, and it's a really worthwhile thing to incorporate daily. Just some type of mindfulness.
Yeah, my go-to, I've been talking to people about breathing, and like I've mentioned when I wrote it up, people tend to be like, yeah, yeah, breathing, I get it, but really, it makes a difference. Getting into that belly breathing, that's the easiest technique, I think. Putting a hand on your belly and making sure it rises and falls, and making your breaths long and slow. And I know some of my family members that actually listen to me, which they don't all listen to me,
Right.
but the ones that do have found the breathing techniques very helpful. Um, Also, the gentler yoga poses and the more restorative yoga poses. One of them I mentioned is heart bench. I think that's very nice at the end of the day, especially if you are at a computer doing Zoom meetings hunched over. Most of us sit very
Mm-hmm.
hunched. our
Yep.
neck is kind of caved forward, our shoulders are forward.
Yep.
These heart bench moves are going to open you up, and also that's going to help your breathing. That can help slow your heart rate. It can do a lot of nice things for the kind of thoracic cavity.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, I would definitely encourage everyone to check out the article on the website because it really provides a lot more detail as to how to do these things, how to incorporate them into your daily life, and it was just an excellent kind of idea that and simplified really breathing to the point where, like you said, a lot of people that we talk to, like patients that we would recommend this to, would sort of give that like eye roll, like, oh, what's this going to do for me type of response. But I think the people that do incorporate do have some success with it and do feel a little bit, at least a little bit better, which is worth it to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um, a piece that's been challenging is as I'm going on social media to get more interaction, you also have to be careful on what that's bringing into your life and making sure you're taking in the good parts of social media and leaving the parts that don't serve you.
Right.
Limiting social media time, I am horrible. It's been an issue in our house where I pick up the phone to check one thing and then 20 minutes elapses. So that is not something that I want. I don't find that serves me. So I've been setting phone alarms. And it seems like a very
Good.
simple intervention, but it's a very helpful to, yeah, you just spent 15 minutes scrolling through Facebook. Did you mean to do that? Like, shut off your phone now, please. So that's been a big piece as I'm home more. I don't want to get caught up in that too much.
Right, and it's kind of wild considering like we launched the site, we're doing all this like social media
Mm-hmm.
stuff right now. So like yeah, I've been incredibly busy with it, and honestly like probably more busy with that than anything else, including work and including study time, all that other stuff that I was doing previously. So it's different. But I mean media consumption in general, I think you talked about it in the article, and it's another important point. Just limiting the amount of like even if it's like Fox News or CNN or whatever you choose to subscribe to and watch. Those things create and generate a lot of anxiety. I personally think they're designed to do that, and that's what helps them pay the bills. So right,
Yeah. I think going to a website like the CDC or whatever your local hospital system website is,
right.
going and checking that you really don't need to do it more than once a day. Um, and I think that's a reasonable way to stay informed.
Yeah, that's also excellent advice. It's been like one of my biggest like things I would advocate to patients is like, hey, get good quality information. Go to the CDC website. Go to the your local government's website. Get the real facts because sometimes going through social media and these other options we have out there to get news, it's not always true, and it's again sometimes detrimental to your mental well-being.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think those
Well,
are some good tips for sure.
yeah. I think I'm open to if anyone else has any ideas. If anyone wants to message us, let us know what you're doing to stay mentally healthy during this time, and any ideas for future posts or videos.
Right. I mean, I'll second that. Please, like the video, comment. We want to interact with you guys. We want, to kind of cover topics and things that interest you, not just stuff that interests us, because obviously it may not be the same.
Yep. Although me and Garrett can nerd out to stuff pretty hard for a while,
Oh
so
yeah, we got
don't
plenty
even.
of content, so we're not at any shortage of ideas. Every time I sit down now or I work out, another idea pops into my head, like, oh, we should really talk about this, or we should write something on this. So there'll be
Yep.
plenty of things coming.
Yep. Sounds good.